Ready. Let's get down to business. I just need to sign in with my other account so I can type the things. And let's jump in. So, this session we're going to be continuing our Reactor series. Now we're getting into the more complex stuff, but therefore also more cool stuff. So I got a couple of ideas today, and of course I'll listen to the chat if they have any cool ideas that they would like to see, or any questions that they have about Reactor or Mona in general, of course. So let's get into it. So, first off, I'd like to start with a Tic Tac Toe space. Well, maybe not a space. Um, so what I've quickly made, this took about half an hour last night, was a Tic Tac Toe space. The catch with this, let's go this one, X, yeah. So we have sort of like an X, and if I can rotate this around, ah, not that one, that one, yeah. So we've got an O and an X, and on that, I actually just want to make that look cool. So let's get up to maybe 70. And put this on shade smooth. There we go. That's what we want to do. Now, what's important with this, and I'm actually glad that I popped in here first, is that the default state is best. You don't have to. You could animate it in Unity to be where you want it to. The default state should be kind of where you want it. So basically, I'm going to put it there, so then you can rotate each of those. So let's export FBX. Put that into our project. So this is a model, and I'm just going to override the ones that I've got. Now, as noted, always remember to put selected objects, otherwise you'll get everything. And if I'm not using a rig, so a skeleton, or animation, I'll put this on just to improve the chances of it working, if that makes sense. So occasionally, and I don't know if this is a Unity issue or a Blender issue, the export won't be correct, so the scale and things like that are not correct, which affects things like light mapping scale and all that. So it's good to make sure that your apply transform is on if you're not using animation. It has a little warning about animation, so there's that. All right, that done. Small note. Another thing. So if you look at these colors, for example, this is all based on this image here, but this image is actually 8 pixels by 8 pixels, I think. So basically what I've done, if you look at all of this, I've actually just sort of like shrunk everything to be super small. So it has these 4 colors, but it's like a tiny texture. Now, the catch with this is you couldn't put a texture on it. Well, I guess you could actually. So if I wanted to, I could actually make this a big one with like detail. So if you wanted a marble texture or like stripes or something like that, you could actually make this a rather large texture. But in this version, yeah, an 8x8 texture sounds impressive file size wise. So I can show you that as well. So I was pretty happy with that. Okay, let's reduce that one. Let's get into our space itself. Where is it? They're either here. Helpful to remember where it is. Oh, hey. Excuse me, I just woke up. Alrighty. Now let's look into it. Now, before we jump into Tic Tac Toe, I'd like to introduce this little element. Now, this is just a cube, but what I will show is what we're doing with it. And I'm going to show you how to do this later, because it's pretty cool and super useful. So you may think it's just a cube, but in fact, I can move it around kind of in any direction. But the thing is, I can actually move this as far as I want. Um, but, and this is the magic of this, it's a simple animation. Now, what this does, and we'll be looking at how to do this later, is basically it will move the distance from wherever it currently is, rather than the usual approach to Reactor or animation, which goes back to its like global position. So if you have an animation, and let's say this box was at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, let's say that's the correct direction, and you move it. Once it's there, it's kind of done. You can move it between these 2 points. But with this feature, it will apply it from the root direction. So the 0, 0, 0 position is wherever it is at the last point. So you can sort of keep moving it, and create some cool mechanics with that. And because it's a small box, every time it moves in front of you, you can sort of push it. Now, when I push it, it does move like 1, so dunk. But because of that, you can actually just push things around. So you could do a really cool puzzle with that, with some like interesting caveats. So yeah, we'll be looking at that later as well. So that's cool. And as a sneak peek, I'll show you how to do it. And it basically comes to this one button. So apply root motion basically means that the animation done will apply to where it is at that time. Now, some people in their team, like Tom, for example, has made like a whole vehicle system with this, where you go left, like you can go left and right by controlling the avatar on 2 sort of things. So there's definitely approaches to it, and you can do some crazy stuff. Pardon me, break crazy stuff with it. So that's a lot of fun and a lot of potential. All right, let's go. Let's just hide this one for now, because we want to come back to that one. Bye. All right, put that up there. So, time to make Tic Tac Toe. So I've got these assets, and like FBX kind of comes in with textures, so I haven't actually applied any of these yet. So FBX kind of works, but the thing is, if I wanted to edit any of these, and I kind of do, because I actually made an emissive color for these ones, I'm going to change this. So let's start with a new material. Let's just call it XO. Now we have our textures here. So we have the 8x8. So this is 56 bytes. It's not even a kilobyte yet. And that's the texture for the whole asset. And this one is also 56 bytes. So that's the reason I did this, because it's cool. So you got that. The catch with this is you do have this blurring element. So when I unwrapped it, I tried to make sure that it was in the middle because I knew this would happen. That said, if I go to XO, which one is it? Filter mode. I go point no filter, apply. It doesn't do any of the blurring. So you can actually get around that if you want to. I also want emissive, because emissive is fun. So notice on this one how I've got black, black, blue, and red. So the blue and red are going to be emissive. I need to turn the filter off on that one as well. And then we need to go like that. There we go. So black means there's no light, and then color kind of adds that there is. And if I want to, I can sort of ramp that up a bit. Let's go 0.5. Let's go subtle. And that's that. So that's fun. And then once we go back to our object, we can drag that material in there, go apply, and therefore we have emissive X and O, which is kind of fun. Let's do the box as well because it's using the same texture. Now that won't look any different. But if I want to play with this, I can make it super shiny. I kind of like maybe that. If you wanted to, you could actually make it like metallic and stuff, but yeah, let's go 0.3. Done. All right. So when it comes down to it, this is a super low polygon asset, which is great. All right, so let's plonk all these together. Now I'm going to organize things by putting everything in an asset, so I can move it around easily. So that's a good thing to do. I'm going to put the box in it, and I'm going to put that in it. Now for arguments, I'm going to move that up like so. This is really big. Do I want it big? Kind of do. That's kind of fun. Okay, so the plan is to actually make this interactive. So you click on it, and it just cycles around the thing. So yeah, let's do that. Now once again, this doesn't need an animation, but this does. So let's put the animator on this particular asset. And for that, we go down to animation and animator, which can be found in animation and animator in window. Once done, go create. Get your naming solid. So let's go idle or clear? Blank, blank. I like blank. Which is this state. This is rotation. Dunk, dunk. And that's all we need for that. Let's go to create new clip. X, I think it is. Now the rotation seems a little off, but for argument's sake, that's fine. Actually, no. I'm gonna go back to Blender and see if I can figure out why that is. So let's go here. An interesting one. Ah, that's on me. So the problem here is that we're not using the actual pivot of the object. Um, so let's go back, undo that. I'm going to clear that, and then try again. Much better. So yeah, there are common problems or issues with rotation if you forget to turn the pivot and local on, um, depending on the situation. So this is the local one, as in direction kind of thing, and center is where it actually is. So that's, as you can see here, the center of the object is different from the pivot location. So if you're having issues there, those are the two that you need to worry about. And one more. That one. Cool. Um, Now, how are we going to do? What's the best way to do this? You think? Kind of want to just cycle through them. So let's do that. There we go. Now we need a parameter. What kind of parameter? We just want to switch it, and then be able to switch it again. So let's just put a trigger on and call it switch in the parameter. So from blank, we want to go to X whenever we want it to. Put in the parameter of switch, and let's put sort of like a interesting. Give it a shot and see what happens. I think. Um, if this automatic rotation doesn't work, I did note this has two, and we don't want that. Okay, let's try again. Better. Okay. So make sure that when you're animating that you only have things that need to, when you're using animator as the transition approach or the transition approach, make sure that you're only animating things that need to be animated. Otherwise, it will transition between more things than you want. So in this case, I only want rotation to happen on the switch. Um, Kind of like that speed actually. So 0.25. Don't, 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 don't. Now, once again, just a quick overview of has exit time and conditions. Has exit time is, let's say, when the asset can exit, right? So it only changes or transitions from one to the other, um, after the exit time. Now, if you turn off the exit time, it will transition on the condition. So when I set it to switch, which we do with the reactor component, um, it will kind of transition from here. Um, but if it has exit time, it will make sure that it has to be after this point to be able to transition. Or if it doesn't have a condition, it will just automatically go through that. So you can sort of control your transitions based on time, on events, things like that. Now, in this case, we just wanted to switch when we press the button. So turning that off, and the transition time is sort of like the animation time between the two, which is sort of what we want. Okay, that works. So we have our animations. We have our parameter, which we need to make very close, pay close attention to. So switch with a capital S. And then we can get our reactor component going. So let's go switch. Component, reactor. Add component, box collider. Now, I'm going to drag this up. Now, because of the light and such, and I might move that around because I want to see this, I'm going to go wireframe. And then we can change it. And that just makes things easier to see. Scaling. Let's put it in front. Yeah, let's just put it in front. Now, the other thing I'd like to do is I'm going to put a box component on this as well, so you can't run into it. Now, note that the reactor has to be in front of it. Because I'm using on interact, the raycast, which if you don't know is basically imagine a point and a point and a line between those 2 points, and this is casting that light or casting that ray of information, I guess, at something. So when I'm looking at something, it casts that light or ray casts to see what's there. Now, games use this for lots of things like physics and collision and all sorts of stuff. So if this collider was bigger or outside this collider, this one, it wouldn't actually see it. Because colliders kind of like overlap. So if you have a big collider, and this also applies with other reactor types, such as on enter collider, on exit collider, on look at, and on look away. If any of these colliders are in front of or overlap and on interact, it can't see the on interact. So make sure that you don't have an overlap of those. Now I'm going to actually make an XO box asset because I'm just going to copy this everywhere, and that should work actually. So that's fine. Now what I'm going to do once again, just to make this a little easier to work with, is move this up to there and then move these down to there. Now the animation itself was based on rotation, and it doesn't have position, so that should be fine. Okay, so that's cool. Right. Now we want this on player interact. Yeah. So I'm going to do switch. We're going to set. Yep. This object's parameter, which is switch with a capital S, and trigger. You don't have to do that, and we definitely want this as multiplayer because Tic Tac Toe by yourself is not that much fun. So that should be it. Now, yeah, let's put a tag in. What could it do? Switch. Play. Switch. Turn. Rotate. Switch will do. Okay. So now that we have one box, we should test it because that's the better way to do it. Because if I do 9 and it doesn't work, actually let's do this. I'm going to make a prefab, and this is why the benefits of prefabs. So I'm going to make a prefab like so, And then I can do whatever I want, because then when I change or update the prefab, all of the assets will update. So let's do that. It's much easier, to be honest. And easy is good. Let's check it out. Let's adjust the lighting, I think. Yeah. Now, because these are dynamic objects, get that one. That way. Okay, so if I was doing light mapping, I could probably do light mapping on this asset, but not these assets, because that wouldn't work. Or they would keep the light mapping that you've done, and it's all a bit weird. So there's that. So I think that's good to go, or good to test anyway. So let's do a save and playground. Alrighty. So we do have our switch done. Anyone want to play Tic Tac Toe? Done. So there we go. Why? What? Why? Why is this side bright and this side dark? What's going on there? I think I have two lights. That's why. Okay. So I can easily fix that. So that's Tic Tac Toe. Done. What's that? 30 minutes? Yeah, there we go. Let's rotate that around to there. That should work better now. All right. Save. All right. So that's excellent. So we made our XO game. So let's put it over here for now. Now, next up, I could also probably make that smaller now. So if I do, let's try it. 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So a normaler. Now notice how it's scaling from that position at the bottom there, for reasons. So that's good. Let's say a little bit bigger, maybe. Yeah, that's a good size. I like that. Let's put that back over there because that's cool. Now, let's go back to the cube and look at that. So, what's happening? And once again, the magic button for all of this asset is apply root motion. So whatever animation it does is based on wherever it currently is. And that's it. But I'd like to show how to work on that. So F to zoom in. Now, the way I managed to get 4 directions is I actually animated it in 4 directions. So we actually have cube idle, so wherever it stops, and then sort of like move +1 over X period of time. So if you have idle there and go to move back, then I did actually, and this is actually very important. So when you do this method, anyway, I found that the standard transition between one point and the next, where you only have one frame, didn't work with this approach. You actually had to animate it, to my knowledge, anyway. So it will basically move that direction when I select or hit that panel or that collider, I guess. So it's move back, move forward, same again, move left, same again, and move right, same again. Now, another thing, which took me a bit to figure out, was that at the start of the animation, so leaving, once again, this is based on a condition, and I have 4 parameters, which are just triggers. So do this, do this, do this, do this when I say. Trigger's great. Big fan of that. But leaving had to do at the start. So make sure you transition at the start. And at the back was at the very end. So it had that time to sort of do the animation and trying to make sure that all of these were exactly the same or close enough anyway. So it takes a little bit of a detailed, I guess, approach with these parameters, just because that's how animation works. So basically, when you hit this one, I did it on enter. So every time you enter it from new, it sets the cube move right to trigger. So move right, which I believe is this one. Move right, which is this one. Zoop, like so. And that way you have a box that you can move around as much as you like. What I'll probably do is actually add this to the library, as I have with the doors and the elevators. I've actually started an updated Mona Playground that has all of the assets that Mona releases, so you can see and play with, and if you want, download the space and learn how to make them. So make sure to check out the Mona Playground when you can. So let's keep that as is. Move it over there, maybe. Now let's take this a little bit further. What I'd like to do is have it so. Yeah, I don't think it works, because I was hoping that maybe we can move that asset to a special place in the space, and then that will unlock a thing. But that won't work because triggers only work on the character at the moment. So I'd like to do something similar. Yeah, I'd like to do something similar, but we'll have to do it with a different method. So I'm going to turn this off and start a new game asset. Create empty. Lighter box. Box lighter. Okay. So what I'd like to do, the other approach, if you want, and this is what I'm going to do. So if you want a box to be moved somewhere, and that triggers something else, you have to do that sort of like in an animation storyline, if you will. So you have different animations, and then once it gets to this one, you can do other animations, if that makes sense. So let's just try to. I'm planning a whole strategy. So give me a moment. Um, the catch is on that last animation, it needs to be in that animation. So say for example, if you wanted a door to open when a box gets on a certain thing, um, the door would also have to be in that animation, so it can access it. So as much as Reactor can trigger different events, um, yeah, we'll go the simple approach first. So what do we need? We need a door, and I think I have one of these. Hang on. I'm gonna steal this door. Yeah, put this up here for now. Cool. Um, no, I want the sci-fi door. It'll take longer. Okay, for time purposes, I'm gonna just stick to the normal door. That goes in there. And let's rotate that. Now, once again, because that's center, it's not where we actually want it. It kind of is for this rotation. But note, if I want to do it properly, because I put the pivot there, that's what we actually want for the actual animation. So we want a door. We also want a box. So using control to snap. Let's say we have like a box there. I'm going to duplicate that one and put it here for visuals. So let's say we just want to put this box on that, and that will open the door. So I'm going to remove the collider because we don't need that. Okay. Actually, let's just scrunch that up a bit. Alrighty. So let's see. Now, because I want to animate the door and the cube, um, not the cube target, because I want to animate both these and be accessible, I need to do this on a parent. So if I put the animator on this one, I couldn't animate this one. If I put the animator on this one, I couldn't animate this one. If I put an animator on this one, I can animate it and anything under it, or any child of that asset. Um, so I'm going to do that. So animation, box slider, create. Now, things we're going to do. We want to rotate the door eventually. So just in case, I'm going to put that. Ugh, nope, that one. Yeah. Now that didn't record because I didn't put the record button on. There we go. And position of this one like so. Actually, let me check something. That's it. All right. Now, what I'd like to do is kind of like slide it twice to show you the approach, and then you can figure out really cool ways to apply this approach to kind of a lot of things. This same idea, and if we have time, I'll look into this as well, is say picking up three keys to open a door. So this one's a moving game mechanic, and we can also do a pickup game mechanic with kind of the same idea. So let's do that. Create new clip. So one. I don't think I actually need to do this, but I'm gonna do this just for reasons. Okay, slide one. Two. And slide three. Now, of course, these could be animations. I use the transition between 2 points because it's just quicker and easier to set up simple situations. Doesn't have to be that though. And last one, I think. Now, with this one, we actually want to rotate this door. So when you slide it on, this opens. Done. Now, notice that that was the wrong animator when it was on this object. So as soon as you click on the asset that you need, um, or with the animator, e.g. this will be correct. Um, so let's do that. Now, when it comes to these sorts of things, I like to visualize in order. So I could go down. Do we go down? Yeah, let's go down. So, and then we go make transition. To all these sorts of things. So there, and there. There. Okay. Now, how are we gonna switch them? We need a parameter. This time, let's go. Well, it's kind of interesting because this is a good thing to know as well. When I'm here, it's just waiting for whatever I tell it. So I could actually go the same parameter. Well, let's test this actually. So let's go trigger. Let's go switch again. And go. So originally I could use like 1, 2, 3, 4. So plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one, using the reactor that does that. But I want to try this. So yeah, let's do this. So slide, slide, and then switch because it looks better. Now we actually need the reactor on this asset because when you move the box, the collider goes with it. I'm gonna put the Ah, that's because I did the thing. Yep. So just make sure I haven't broken any of these ones. So once again, as always, and I forget this all the time, make sure your animation is off when you have stopped animating. Otherwise, and like it comes up here, so if it's red, and that's how I saw that, because otherwise I would have missed it completely. If something up here is red, then it means that your animator is still on. So when you move it, like so, it'll be red. Um, so that's a hint that your animating recorder button is on, which we don't want when we're doing stuff like Reactor. Okay, and just for habit, I like to put the box collider on there as well. I also want to select this to idle, so I know which side the slider needs to be on. Let's move this to here. Now, if I wanted to, you could 100% um, like add, like it would take a lot because you don't want an open recorder. So with the cube that we had, if you had it open, then it wouldn't know when the switch works because you would need to use the player as the reference point, and you can't control the player well enough. So if it was just running over it, it wouldn't work. Um, so in this case, I could put like animations of the cube in the whole room, like every single place, and then the 4 boxes, so you could move the cube everywhere. So hopefully that makes enough sense. But we just want to do this one test, if that makes sense. So, um, and this would this would actually get really quite complicated. Um, so you would actually have a grid, like a whole grid, to show. So you could have move left, and then create this like grid of. Actually, I'll do some of that after we test this bit. I'm gonna do a couple because I think that'd be cool. Anyway, back to the point. So we want this on enter trigger. Yeah. So because I'm going to get more complicated, I'm going to actually name these correctly. So note that I shouldn't use this. I should use the one with the animator. So just to double check, this has the animator, this has switch. I'm going to change that because we're going to do that more complicated version. So forward. And I'm going to change this now to forward. Now, luckily, hope this will update. So that's good. Yeah, cool. And this is a trigger. And that don't need values for triggers, and we do want this to be multiplayer. So local, if you turn that on, it will be just the person who's turning it on. You can do some really cool stuff with that. Get them drunk with a PPV. Do all sorts of stuff. So yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Let's give it a shot. Now what I want to do is I want to actually make these a bit faster to make sure that when it moves, it's faster than the person, so it doesn't like auto trigger. Give it a shot. Okay, so you can't press it that way, you can't press it that way, you can't press it that way yet. But excellent. And then it stops. So as you can see, the door opens on the third move when it goes over the thing. Now you can, of course, modify it. I think it was a bit too fast, so I didn't like that so much. So of course you can edit the animation. In case it's these cases, let's make this 0.2 maybe. Put it at the end there. Two. All right. Now, let's make this a little like one line of interest with these assets because I think that would actually be really cool to, like, if you had a puzzle, you need to figure it out. Being able to move it around kind of adds to that. So let's add a couple of extra lines. So for that, I'm just going to duplicate this one. Now that one was forward. Let's just go left. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I don't even know if I can do this. We'll see how it goes. Just to check, we also want right. And sure, let's do back as well. Now, with our animator, we actually need new triggers. So let's go left, right, and back. Cool. So that one's forward. That one's left. Let's just quickly make some it's there. Move right. And move back. All right. That's and then we need to create the network. And for that we need animations. So we might need to just remember the naming on these. So let's call this L slide one. Well, we actually need also L slide idle. Little. So don't mind me while I just completely change everything. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, using control to slide it around. Be nice and neat. Go. And then you have all of these added. Let's go to the left. Now I'm going to test these because as it gets more complex, you want to make sure you get it right. Now, technically, because we have back and stuff, we can actually do all directions. Now, let's figure this out. So those are forward, and that's back. So turn off and back. Those are done. That one is left. And therefore that one is right, I guess. Makes sense? Maybe. Sure. Left. Right. Left. Right. Yeah. Hey, Memory, how's it going? I can use an artifact for that. Links to the website. Problem solved. That is a left and a right. Okay, then we have to do these ones as well. So, this one is a forward. This one is a back. Oh, wait. What's cheating? What are you talking about? I never cheat. Okay. Okay. Should work. Should. Back to our these ones. Forward. Right. So all we need to change is our parameter. And theoretically, hopefully, these might be the right way. All right, let's give this a shot. Now, I pretty much guarantee that these are going to be facing the wrong way. I did this with the box as well. It's easy to fix once you know what you're doing. Okay, so Let's give it a shot. No! Why? Ah. Okay. Let's try that again. Is there an easy way to do this? Yeah. Change these. So that would be right, and this would be left. Fingers crossed. What reactors do you want to see? Mr. Memory? What would be the cool stuff you're after? Or hoping to make or see in the future? I think the animation's off. Let's go down one. That's cool. There we go. Cool. We're amazing. Yeah. Did you see the original movable box? You can thank Tom for this one. Because this one you can move anywhere. So I'm gonna put this over here. Yeah, so that first move is a bit weird because the idol's in the wrong place. That's why that's happening. So I can fix that in a second. But I want to show off this box because it's cool. I like it. We've got that one, which is controlled box, and then we have this one, which we can just move anywhere. The catch is it doesn't know where it is in the space, so you wouldn't be able to move it across that, which is a pity. So that's why we've done a controlled box environment on this one to open the door. So with that, and just a heads up, if you didn't know, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. The way you do that is apply root motion, turn on. So it applies the movement based on where it is actually at. So it's cool. Yes and no, because and that's the thing. So the reason I did this is so when it gets to this one, it can also open the door, but this one doesn't know where it is. um, so you wouldn't be able to have the box interact with something else yet, and I think there's plans. Well, I would like us to have objects be able to react with other things. So eventually, that would be super cool. But yes, so different approaches. That said, you could use this to maybe what could it do? Well, I want to try something actually. So let's put a collider somewhere and see if it actually can collide. I'm not too sure if this will work. So that has a collider. This cube has a collider. All right, let's give that a shot. How are we going for time? Okay, so we're doing all right. lots of stuff today. But yeah, it's super cool. If you remember, Tom did a vehicle, like it was a flying vehicle in a space, um, and it was a bit janky, I will say, but it was pretty cool. Um, so let's try something. Yeah, so it doesn't have collision either, so that's a pity. So I don't know. I don't know how you could make it a game, make it a puzzle. It's just cool moving stuff around. Hmm. And I also made uh Twitch game, not Twitch game, TikTok, Tic Tac Toe. Blue wins. So yeah, these are the things we created today. Next, hmm, what's next? We're gonna get rid of that one. Keys, pickups. Yes, this one, they both had collision, so this one has collision and the other one had collision, so it doesn't work. Physics was not there, which is a bit odd actually, because they both did have physics. So I'm not too sure. Probably because animation overrides collision. My guess is that. That's a good point. Yes, you could 100% do jumping stuff. Um, yeah, no, that's a really good point. Actually, didn't think of that. No, 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 that's that thing. Yeah, so I want to do 3 keys. Um, so we need a key. I made this so long ago. Can I get? Do I have to make a key? Let's make a quick key. Let's do a blended tutorial. EXO. Get those in there. I should have named them better, but okay. Now key. Make key. Okay, I'm gonna try something because this is something I'm learning a bit recently. Um, is you get rid of everything on a cube except for one line, um, and then you just do cool stuff with it. So I'm gonna get rid of them edges, get rid of them as well, edges. Get rid of them edges, edges, edges. Um, so I have this thing that I'm gonna make with polygons. So let's say we make a key with E. Doot, doot. This is going to be a terrible key, by the way, but this is what I'm making. Now, if you hold control, it does snap, which I'd like to do because then it's straight. Pressing E to extrude. And of course, you can use X, Y, and Z to Z, Z, whichever one, to sort of that. Grab those two and then merge at center. Okay. Um, that doesn't look very good position wise, so let's move that across a bit. Let's mess about a bit. Try and I can do this. Do do do. Done. That's so weird. It did circle. It was meant to do it great. Let's try again. That's good. That's fine. And then once you're done, and then you can sort of, I think it's using F, and that's with the F2 add-on. Super useful for these kind of things where you're just making stuff up. Best key ever. Ta-da! I kind of want to hold in here, so I'm going to insert, zip that down, and bridge faces. Done. Perfect. Best key ever invented. For sure. Put it in the middle. Probably want to make this face upwards. Then Control A to put everything in the middle. Cool. Let's get some smooth going. Let's get some auto smooth going. Let's get that at about 70. Perfect. We have a key. Now, scale is a thing. So this is currently 1.6 meters big. So let's get that down a bit. Too big, but not too big. Yeah, there we go. 0.6, 0.05, 0.2, 0.25. Beautiful. I'm going to give it a material so we can apply a material easily. Yeah, that's fine. And then export. Actually, let's do a quick animation here and then import that animation just for, I haven't really covered that much. So let's do that. Do 60 maybe? Now I think we need curves on this one. So how do I do curves in this? I forget. There. We're up. Dope sheet? No, that's what we're on. Graph editor. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, what is it? How do I? Ah, how do I zoom? Pan view. How do I? View? Frame all. Home. There we go. Let's easing type. I think it is. Nope. Constant. Linear. Yeah. I need to get in animation in Blender more for reasons. Let's go back to the dope sheet because that's easier to work with. Yeah. Cool. All right. Now export FBX. Cool. Key. Now this has animation, so we actually want to turn the apply transform off, but we do want that. So export. Cool. Now moving here, we got our key. We need a new material, so let's create that. Metal, gold. So metallic smoothness is up there. Get some gold going. Um, Now we need to import animation. No, we need to drag gold. Excellent. Animation. Now, if you'll notice, it actually has this already in there. And we want it to loop. So we'll put that in. But if you wanted to, it is possible to kind of, if you had multiple animations, you can actually cut them up here. So you could do like plus and then edit. So if I wanted to, I could do half an animation and then do that as well. So if I did apply, for better or worse, it's going to be interesting. If you play, it sort of snaps. So that's a very quick overview of how to animate or import animation from Unity. Not Unity, from Blender. So we've got that now. Yeah, cool. Put it there. So how am I going to do this one then? We need key disappear. Actually going to delete these as well. Rename this one. Yep. Hide the key, please. And the thing is, what I'd like to do is you can unlock this only after you have the key. So for that, we actually need the door as well. So let's do create new clip. Keys, door, idle. And keys, door, open. Cool. So you have the key. If you have the key, enter. Ooh, we haven't set up the animator. Let's get rid of most of these. Key. So that goes there. That can go there automatically. So once you have the key, you got that. And because we are here, we can then allow the door to open. So these variables are only acceptable once you get to this node. So you can use the nodes as kind of like an if-then loop in regards to that sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. So this will go there. That will automatically, because it has exit time and no condition, go to this one. And therefore you can use the door once you have it. If you don't have the key, you won't get to here. So that's kind of how that works. So we just need to put these the new what kind of door do we want? Let's do on interact, I think. Just checking the code there. So that should work. Now I need to position these to make sure they're in the right place. So let's do that. The on interact is better, I think. So let's tweak that. No. All right. Let's give that a shot. Yep. I'm gonna try that again. There we go. All right. So if we go here now, we walk through it for one. But if we pick up the key, which we can't do because this one we need to get rid of that because we don't want it to say open. Um, why was that collider a collision thing? Or there's nothing in it. That's why. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so as soon as something's in there, it should work. Good to know. So once again, doesn't open. Pick up the key, and it opens. Now, I think that opened before I wanted it to. So let's try that again. Check out why. Okay. So okay, that's a pickup key. So that's done. Now, hmm, Tom has so politely given me a good approach to the key thing. Yeah, that's a smarter approach. Can we do it in 2 minutes? No. What we can do is now, and then maybe delete the part section because that's just confusing to be honest. So I'm going to save this. I think I've been using triggers all day, so triggers was the best way to do it. Okay. Well, we're getting too many systems in here, so I'm going to start cleaning some of this up. Cube, let's move that. Let's just move that. Put it over here. There's good. Keys, we'll move that over here. Actually, this can be key. Key door. And I can move the key because that is, yeah, we'll just put that there. I also want to animate that actually. So what I'm gonna do is that. And I'm just gonna put an animator on this asset. No. Yeah. So I'm just dragging this animation on the key that we made on the asset onto the object. So when it plays, it should just start doing that automatically. So that's cool. Box slider, that one, that whole game there. Maybe do that one there. Okay. Third one, next one. Keys door. Now we need the asset again. Let's grab this one because it now has animation and the animations we need. So I'm going to duplicate that and then put that in here. Here. Um, Turn it on. There we go. Okay. Duplicate. No, I'm gonna let me check this. So we need a reactor on that. One. They're big. Why is that so big? Ah, that's why. Interesting. For speed purposes, we're just going to do that. Be a bit bigger. Um, um, this one. So add an animator on this one, I believe. Three key. No, I'm doing this wrong. What am I doing? Do that for now. We also need a door, so duplicate that one. Okay, so we need an idle door. Okay, I'm going to rename that one. Why am I finding this so difficult? I've done this like several times before. Now, note, if you change the name, the door closed, like this will change, but this will not. For that, you actually have to do up here. So click on the node, and it'll do that. Now, Tom wisely suggested we create the following. So door closed and door open, basically. There, open the door. Cool. Now, in the thing here is like with the any state, we need 3 conditions to be true. So key 1, and due to my standards, I'm going to do capital. Key 2, and key 3. And basically this will happen when all those 3 are true. Cool. And door open. So what we need to do is basically set this, and we can do that very easily by each one of these having the reactor. So on enter, that, yeah, there we go. Key 1, key store, key 1, boolean to true. Done. And then we can just duplicate that. And change the reactor for that one. So key 2, 2, duplicate again. Three, 3. Right. Now we can hide them as well, so we're going to have to do that. So each of these has its own little animation. Which is just hide. So let's do this. Keys 3, hide key. that works. Let's just do that. Okay. Because of that, I'm actually going to get rid of them and put this back. Now, this is actually a really interesting note. When you import your animations, um, these are actually read only. So you can't edit them, you can't do anything. So one way around that is just to duplicate it, and then put that in the animator of the asset. So, and then you can get rid of that one. That way, usually, well, yeah, there we go. So maybe you have to rename it, otherwise it'll just keep the same state. So if you rename it, you can therefore actually animate it. But then this isn't editable. Okay. Well, that's annoying, isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna do. Oh, there we go. Standard Unity deal. Go into a different window and then go back, and then you're good. Um, Now, interestingly, that will usually work, but if not, I can just hide it with the mesh renderer. So we'll put that on, create a new clip, keys 3, hide key, yes, and then hide. That should work, theoretically. Now I want to show it. Okay. So now that we have the key, apologies for the slight incoherence of what's going on because this isn't working properly. Yeah, any state's great. Big fan of that. This one here. Um, but at this point, we just want to make the hide. So let's do that. Keep the standards map. Cool. No, we actually need this as a separate one on the actual asset itself. So yeah, the benefits of Reactor is that you can set as many events as you want, uh, so we can hide things very easily. Yeah, I'm going to test that. I've had some interesting luck today on the more complicated or weird stuff, so I'm going to do that. What? Okay, I'm going to get rid of the loop because that was not great. Um, yeah, I think I've made everything just too complicated and layered. That used to work fine. It bothers me that it doesn't. Good question. What? No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've done too many things in one session, and things are starting to do very weird things. So I think I just need to delete everything to do with the three key approach. Okay. Thank you. All right. We have a key. So once again, we need to go to the child and change this number here to, and that should work. Good. Three. Nope, 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 not that one. This one. Three. Not worried about that. That's just the label. Okay. Save. Um, Now I'm just gonna check something. So as soon as those are three, it's gonna go, I think. Is that how it works? Hang on. No, I don't actually have a thing for that yet. Okay, so we need to do that. Create empty. Reactor door. Add component. All coming together. On enter, on enter. Yeah. So this on that one. No, that's not. This is not how it works. What? Any state, and does it just go? Maybe. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so we have our three keys. One, two, three. Doors open. So it is. That it just listens for it. That's interesting. I don't think I knew that one. Huh. All right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Any state is OP. Because that's cool. But, and here's the question, how would you do it so um like a door? Like I wanna check. You could probably do I want to do it so if you have three keys, you have to trigger the door. So I'm wondering if I put a slot here, it goes here, and then a new one. For example, yeah. Yeah, really? Um, so let's go trigger. Yeah. So the ending state will go to there, and then if I trigger this, it should work. I think you have a different idea. I'm gonna try the mic. It's not. It's not. It's the same thing. I'm just duplicating it. Hang on. Hang on. What are you doing? To add another condition. Ah, condition. Okay. Yeah, I like my version because it's simple. So hang on, because if you make another condition, say like open door, as soon as I walk into it, it'll do that, right? What's the? How do you see the condition check working? If that makes sense. Oh, it has to be opened. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's do that then. So open doors true. So that has to be a boolean. All right, so we can move that up and then go back to our door. This one. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, they both work. Int trigger. Set that open door boolean to true, and then all four will be true. Okay, so two ways to do that one, depending on how your brain thinks. Okay. All right. Theoretically, that should work. So yeah, two approaches to it. Both are fine. I think with pretty much any game design element, as long as it works and doesn't break anything and is like semi optimized. So, say for example, we go in there. So, technically, that's true, but it doesn't open. Pick up two keys. Still doesn't work. Good. Three keys. What? Why? See, my theory for that is, oh, no, it should be. Hang on. Keys were great. The door's not working. Open door. Keys door. Open door. Ah, because I deleted them all. That'll do it. Okay. Pick up one. Doesn't work. Good. Two, three. Whoa. See, that's the catch. Gotcha on this one, Tom. I think mine works better. Because if I try to go to the door first, that's already set to true. The catch is I could make it false when I walk out. So let's do that. And that'll sort that out, I think. Door on exit trigger. Let's just negate the door. Set. Open door. Boolean to false. All right, so when you walk out, it'll go back to negative, and then you can pick them up again. So we'll have to test that. Okay, so we're going to set this to true, which now is. Now it should be false, though. So when I pick up all three keys, that should be working. And then when we go back, it'll open. Excellent. There we go. So, a little longer than I expected on the grounds that my brain was triggered. Like I was using too many triggers to do things when we had a lot of other options. So, choosing the parameter types that work for you and the ecosystem that you're trying to do, make sure that you think about it. There we go. What's going on there? So make sure you think about it in the simplest way to make your whole experience much better. That said, we've done quite a lot of stuff in this session. We've got like boxes that open. We've got keys that open doors. We've got boxes that we can move around as we see fit. And we've got a Tic Tac Toe. I will probably clean these up and put some of them into the library because I think some of these assets will be useful to sort of pull apart and allow you to do some cool stuff as well. I may delete the first section of the key door because that was completely the wrong direction. So we'll see how it goes. Raised hand. Does that mean like yay, or does that mean like I have a question? Yeah, Tic Tac Toe was fun. It was super easy. Like I made it in I made the whole thing apart from like the models in like half an hour. It's really quite good. I like it. Yeah, fun. So yeah, done some cool stuff today, and definitely got into some more complex stuff. Should I leave that broken section in the YouTube for everyone to get super confused by? Probably not. I think I'll delete it. But we'll see how we go. So yes, I'll call that for today. A good session, I think. And yeah, have a good day. Happy building, and catch you later.